Welcome to D-Mop Garage. We're back on the 57 oval Ophelia and we're on to part 2 of the fiberglass moulds. Now, last episode we were getting all these ready, fiberglassing them, preparing them, and we're demolding today, and one's already been demolded on the ground just there, and this was the good one, and as you can see it came up pretty nice. No real problems. We've got a couple of little chipped areas where we had some air entrapment, and that's to be expected. But again, you can see there's little spots here. A little bit of gel coat just to repair those is not a big deal. But the main face is really good. We've got a nice shine on it. That one needs a bit of clean up still. Just the no more gaps, which is the white, just has to be cleaned off it. And then we will give that a clean up the edges, sand it a bit, give both sides a polish, and that is ready to get put into service and we can start using it. Now, the bad one, and this is the one that was the fail, for the viewers that haven't seen it, this side here did not work. So we're going to have to re-fiberglass this side. The top flange did work. This one here, unfortunately, it got too cold, didn't put enough hardener in it, and it's actually attacked the gel coat. We're demolding it right now. The process of demolding it is, it takes a while. You got to use little nylon wedges. I've got some really nice big thick nylon wedges that I normally use to depart these things, but unfortunately I've left them up at my parents' place, so we're just going to have to do with what we've got. So yeah, let's just persevere and get this thing split apart. It is going to take a while, because you basically just got to get in between the flange and the mold part and just keep prying it and cracking it open. You can pour water in there too, because the water will dissolve the PVA mold release. And once the water gets up underneath it, it tends to want to release them pretty quickly. So we will probably take this section off first, then we can get the bottom bit off. So the shards are very sharp. You've got to be very careful not to slip and nail yourself, because I've done that many a times. Apart from that, we're all good. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, so I just realised we can't actually take this off, because that has to stay there so that we've got our flange to work to. So we have to just remove this one and then remake this, leave that one on. So let's just remove this side. I'll tell you what, it might be savable. It might actually be savable. I think it is. And I'll tell you why in a second, once we get this off. Make sure it releases out of here. There it goes. Oh, yeah, no. Okay. Here is
butter hook.
Yeah, unfortunately no. I thought we might be able to save it, but you can see here, this is this is what I was talking about. It just attacks it. Now what had happened when I did catch it and realised that we were going to have issues, I went back over it with some clear resin, and in here all this actually filled in. So this part of the mould's perfect. You could actually still use it, because even though it's got all the crow's feet, it's actually totally smooth. I mean, this is the PVA mould release. You can see how this comes off. As soon as we go and wet it, it all just dissolves. It's weird stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, the flange is pretty bad, and you know, all down here it didn't I couldn't get to it in time, so... But that's a failed mould. So yeah, in the bin with that, and we have to redo it. And all we're going to do now is prepare this section here now. So again, we'll have to re-wax this and just go through the process again and re-fiberglass it. So let's get her ready.
2,000 years later.
Righto, a little more progress, and as you can see here, I've actually placed the mould this way, so it's going to be a little bit easier to glass it. It's already got a coat or coats of PVA mould release on there, so we're just waiting for that to dry. Then we can hit it with the gel coat again and go from there. So tried something a little bit different on this side. I've just put a little bit of tape as an edge here because we're really only interested in that little curved section coming down the side here for the bottom of it. Yeah, it should work okay. So we'll let that dry and then we can get this side of it cleaned off. We've still got to make a flange to come down the outside for the bolt-on part of the fender on that one, but at least that's finished for now. And yeah, we'll continue. Right, we have this thing glassed up, as you can see. It just started to go off. I've had to put the heater on. We do have air entrapment, a little bit of it just along here, but hopefully it won't give us too much trouble. I did use this tape trick just to tape it under so that it wouldn't keep falling back. It actually worked really well, so it was sort of hanging a bit too up and down. So now that it's gone off, I can actually take this tape off. Yeah, that's fine. Just a little trick there to keep the glass from falling. But like I said, the flange, or this outer edge here, is only, it's going to be trimmed kind of about in this section here. I think it's just going to be easier. And being that they're going to be fiberglass fenders, you can put quite a bit of reinforcing along the edge here too when you're actually glassing them up. So we won't demold this until, I would say, we'll give it a couple of days, because I just want to make sure that we don't have any problems. Yeah, it's definitely gone off, and I know we don't have any issues with the gel coat, so I'll put quite a bit of hardener in it today. So that bit is all done. Man, if you guys could smell what it smells like in here, she's definitely resiny. Anyway, we'll bring you guys back in when that thing is ready to demold, and then we can continue from there. Okay, it's the next day and we have the moulds demolded, and unfortunately the the metal guards have copped a bit of a beating. As you can see here, there is a big dent right here too. I think when I was trying to release it, I've pried too much onto this, so I'm going to have to do some metal work there. And then obviously, yeah, look, the whole thing's going to have a resand again. There's scratches all over it, but that's there's a bit of a grinder mark there. There's the other one down there. It's going to need fixing as well. But the moulds came up pretty good. There's a little bit of touch-up work to them, and look, that pretty much always happens. You only have to have a small air entrapment and it'll bust the gel coat away. Exactly like that right there. So see on that hard lip there, you can see it's actually broken it away. It's no big deal, easy to fix. You just mix up some gel coat, make a thick batch, and then just build up that little section there and then re-sand it. You know, you've got to sand it all the way down to 1200 and then polish it. But, you know, there's a few chips along that seam line. So what happens now, this thing will get bolted together. When you go to actually make a mould off the inside of this, you'll lay a little bit of wax just along this crack line, and that will get rid of most of the seam, so that when you pop your piece out of the mould, it'll be minimal work to sand it back and get it into primer. Now, with the flange that we have to put here, I probably didn't explain myself properly in the last video, but what happens now is all we need to do here is add, and it can be anything, it can be MDF, even a sheet of steel. You bolt it to this, clamp it to this flange here with it overhanging that way, and then all you're doing is running your fiberglass up onto whatever piece of timber you're putting there, and then once it's all gone off, you just peel this flange, outer flange, which is going to be removable, and you've got your piece with your lip here. And then obviously you can add your holes back in it. You can actually see there, look, that one snapped. That's actually cracked right through here. I've got to repair that too, so more more torture on those. But anyway, that's a success. So that was the dodgy side that we redid. That's the other piece, and then there's another one in here that's the other piece as well. So we've got that one there. So yeah, all good. We've got to just now do some cleanup work. There really isn't any hurry for me to make these parts yet. I'm really going to move my focus back to these because I've got to get those two rear guards in white primer and up to 400 so they can catch up to the rest of the body, because our priority is to get this sucker painted here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take our focus back to these panels and get them back up to scratch again. So let's keep going. Righto, so we've got them back on the rack, and as you can see, I've given them a quick sand with 180 on the orbital, and I had to go back over quite a few spots. As you can see, the filler where we had some deep scratches from the demoulding process, so pretty much along that seam where the flange was, I had to go over that a fair bit. This one here had a bit more substantial damage right through this section here. It was actually quite dented, so I did a lot of metal finishing on it just off camera and got it pretty good. So this is just a real light skim coat on that. So yeah, a little bit of backward stepping, unfortunately, but, you know, to be expected. Yeah, we can wait for this to dry, sand it back, hit it with a couple of coats of high fill, and then sand that back, and we're getting closer to doing that. The guards do have to have the underbody deadening stuff that like what I've put on here, this stuff. I've got to do those as well. So we might actually get the front guards off now and put them onto another one of these racks, and then we can flip both of these upside down and spray them and get that ticked off at least. Righto, it's the next day. It's a freezing day. Even the quality control expert out there is protesting. She's not happy. We did get the underneaths of these things coated with the stone chip guard. Now this is the 2-pack version, so yeah, it just seems like it's a lot harder than the water-based version I've been using, so I think I like it. Looks pretty good. So we're just going to scuff this up, and now obviously this will be getting coloured in the metallic blue, and we'll probably spray this first, mask up the other side. Obviously we don't want to get paint on the other side, and then we'll have to obviously mask this up and then paint the other side. So pretty much every panel's going to have to be a double, you know, mask up and paint sort of thing. So now from the demoulding process on these, I do have to do a little repair. This section here got a little bit chipped up just here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of body filler on that. I know you're not going to see it, it's under the car, but yeah, I want to tidy that up a little bit too. I did actually put a little bit of fibre fill on the weld seam that was underneath. Remember, these are the widened guards, so it's not perfect, but it's good enough. I mean, it's under the car, so yeah, so we'll quickly just fix this little piece up here. I don't think there's anything else that needs repairing. The other sides have been sanded in 320 and they're looking good. We've got no lumps or bumps, so we can actually put the final white primer surfacer on top, which will get them close to this stage here, which is the 400. We'll get a quick repair done and continue.
A few moments later.
Okay guys, so we've given these a sand back with 320, and we use the orbital, and we're just going to make sure that we don't have any lumps and bumps in it, which does feel pretty good. So I think we're on a winner there. Next we're going to be just giving these another coat of the white surfacer, and then we can spray the underneath of them in the metallic blue. That'll be next on the agenda, and after that we will start looking at getting the engine area sprayed in metallic blue underneath as well, and also inside in there a little bit. In here there's our 600. We're getting ready to start doing all this, and then once that's painted, then that'll get all masked up. We will also flip this completely upside down and spray the underneath of the car as well. And then once all that's done, we can mask all that off. And then for the A surfaces that we are going to be seeing, that's when we're going to use the booth. So yeah, we're getting close. I've started cleaning up this area here. The Penrose motor can stay right there. I think that's going to be okay, because our booth is going to come to about here from my measurements, so I'll have a little bit of room to get to the bench. And I think if we take this line here straight through. Once the ute's out of here, I'm going to wheel the hoist over to the corner here, shove it into the corner there. So I think it shouldn't be a problem for the side of the booth. We'll see, I don't know. Yeah, so once that's out of there, then we can just, you know, clean the rest of the crap out of the side there, put this back into the middle. And yeah, look, it's not the perfect time to be doing that, obviously, with winter. I mean, you can see it's almost dark outside and it's only, 5 o'clock, 5:15. Yeah, it sucks. But that's what we're going to do anyway. So, all right, it's the next day. We have the guards taped up somewhat just to stop most of the overspray getting on the A surfaces. I mean, they still have to be sanded in 600. I figured we don't want to do too much work. So we're going to now hit these with the metallic blue and probably just stick a clear coat over the top of it as well. Let's get that bit of paper there off. Yeah, so these are ready to go. I've got the back guards over here because there's just not enough room there. So we've got those guards here, same deal. Now we're going to use the little mini gun just so that it's not spraying a ton of material and, you know, getting overspray over everything. So we're just going to have it really low pressure, small fan, and just go in here and just tickle this stuff with a bit of blue. Yeah, we don't want too much blue going all over the place. I mean, again, that's still got to be sanded. It's not too much of a big deal. Anyway, let's mix up some blue and get these guys painted. Righto, we'll let this tack and then we'll get the clear onto it. Righto, let's have a bit of a look-see here. That looks pretty good. Got a nice shine on it. Excellent. No problems there. Just one of those things. I wanted to kind of get this done because then we can just focus on the A surfaces once we've got the booth installed. We'll not have to worry about what's going on underneath. So I'll probably do the same thing to the back of the engine lid, the underneath of the hood, bonnet, and also these internal parts on the body as well. Just get them out of the way and then we can just wheel this sucker in into the booth and just basically hit the A surfaces and be done. So not too bad of a day today. I've had the door shut, I've had the heater on. I will shut this back up now and crank it back up just so we can get this paint to go off. I am using fast hardener as well, but I just wanted to get all the mist out of here so we're not getting overspray all over the place. Awesome, guys. Well, I reckon that'll do it for this episode. Thanks again. Hopefully in the next one on this 57 Beetle we will have this thing in paint. So we're really just chasing the weather and trying to pick a good day to do it. So see you on another one.